Hello friends, hope you're doing well. It is Saturday the 24th of August and I put a little question sticker on my Instagram last night and said, it's been a long time since I've done a Q&A, maybe let's do a Q&A, little get to know me, hang out and chat. So that's what this is. I'm going to try and answer things as quickly as possible so that we can get through as many questions as I can. So yeah, let's see how we go. Let's get cracking. So when and where are you traveling next? So, I mean, I'm going to Melbourne in December. That's not very exciting, but I think the next big trip that I want to do is probably in August or September of next year. I want to go to Europe and I'm going to show you guys my inspo. I got to say, Instagram is the best for having the saved feature now because you can bookmark things. This is my current inspo for my trip to Europe. It's just essentially a lot of mountains and wilderness. Essentially, I'm wanting to go and hike around some of the Alps in Europe and go see the Northern Lights. So hopefully that can happen next year. I do want to travel about, but I'm worried about leaving and losing progress at the gym. So firstly, life's too short. Go out and travel. There's lots to see in this world and you're really not going to lose your progress in just a couple of weeks. That being said, if you are that concerned, everywhere has gyms. Just travel and maybe go and do a workout 2 or 3 times a week or do a bodyweight workout in a park or do activities or stuff like that. It's gonna be fine. There's gyms everywhere, but yeah, life's too short. Go travel, go see the world. If there was no Messina, what would be your go-to ice cream brand? I don't know. I really just like trying new things. Just every time there's a new one that's released in supermarkets, I'm I must have it. And then I don't care anymore. So probably I like Ben & Jerry's and Connoisseur and the Magnum tubs that are the crack ones. Love all those. Your dream ice cream flavor, sauce, toppings, etc. Go. So I've figured out the formula for the best ever ice cream. It's ice cream plus a saucy element plus a crunchy element. So I would have to say peanut butter ice cream with either a caramel or dulce de leche sauce throughout and probably caramelized nuts of some kind, caramelized macadamias. I think that sounds pretty good. How do you deal with people who say things like, oh, don't get too muscular, boys hate that? So I'm in a pretty good environment here. People don't say that to me very often at all. And I think if someone actually said that to me, I'd just be I actually wouldn't know how to respond because I'd just be I'm sorry, where have you been? We're in the 21st century now. Go back to where you came from in the 1800s. But actually, if someone said this to you, I'd probably say something along the lines of, oh, well, good thing I'm working out for myself and not for some boy then. How do you deal with the Insta pressure to be glam and get follower engagement? I'm sorry, should I be feeling pressure to be glam? Because I certainly don't feel any. I am not a very glam person. I've never been a very girly girl with nails and hair done and makeup or anything like that. So yeah, my follower engagement on Instagram has been pretty trash for a while now, but I don't really mind. I'm just putting stuff out there and the people that care will engage, I'm guessing. What made you transition from BBG to powerlifting? So in a nutshell, there was a guy at my gym who was a PT. He was a powerlifter as well, and he was teaching technique for free. So there was technique sessions a couple of times a week. So I went along just to learn how to squat and deadlift better, and then eventually bench press. And at the same time, I re-injured my knee. I have a chronic knee injury and I was unable to do all of this extra plyometric stuff. So I was well, I can't do any of this plyo stuff anymore because of my knee. So then I just started focusing on weights and eventually got into powerlifting because of this guy, this PT at my gym. What are some must-have accessories for a first comp? No accessories as such. I might actually input some videos of my first ever powerlifting comp right now.
Up, don't stop. Easy. Go. Up, don't stop. Up.
So there you go, that was May 2016. I'm wearing runners. I have no belt, no knee sleeves, no wraps, no anything. I would say the main accessory you need is a coach to help you and support you and be there on the day and put in what you should be lifting for your attempts. What is the best moment you've had with powerlifting? I'd probably say 2. One of them December last year when I got 115 kilo squat after I injured my back like a week out. That was like a 7.5 kilo PB and I didn't fuck my back. So that was awesome. And then second best was probably this recent comp that I just did doing that 158 kilo deadlift with like a 12-second grind. Awesome. What really helped you overcome binge eating? 2 things: not dieting, eating enough, full stop, like eating enough food, and secondly, therapy, going and seeing a psychologist. Tips for increasing metabolic rate, increasing calories without gaining fat, ex-bulimic, now recovering. Well done on your recovery. Keep going. It's a battle for like a long time, and you'll be recovered, but you'll still kind of have thoughts. There is no real trick for increasing metabolic rate, really. Like, lift weights, be active, sleep, eat enough food. But your metabolic rate will increase when you eat more and when you eventually like build more muscle. But it's a very, very slow thing. Building more muscle isn't going to instantly translate to like a metabolism of peace. I obviously don't know your individual situation, and I would really get advice for you specifically and not just listen to some stranger on YouTube, but really focus on getting your calories back to maintenance. And if you're maintaining, if you're eating maintenance calories, you're maintaining your weight and you shouldn't necessarily be gaining fat. What is your go-to cheat snack? I don't have a go-to cheat snack because I don't cheat on my diet. Next. What did you study at university? I studied Bachelor of Medical Science with honours. Honours is like a mini PhD, I guess. For those of you that don't know what honours is, it's essentially like a research year, just 1 year. How did you get into the career that you were in? I applied for a graduate position with the Australian government. Pretty much I finished my honours year at university. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I applied for a grad job with the Department of Health and I got it. And I'm still with the Department of Health now. So I've been there for 3 years. Would you want to change career paths / what is your dream job? I don't know if I have a dream job. I've pretty much just always looked like a few steps in front of me and tried to work towards that. I've not ever had some grand plan. I'm quite happy where I am at the moment. I've actually just gotten a new job, but I don't have anything in writing yet, so I'm not willing to kind of expand on it. But this new job opportunity is very, very exciting for me. I will talk more about it later. How often would you go on a Tinder date? It really varies depending kind of where I'm at and how much effort I'm actually putting into the app or not. I didn't go on many while I was dieting or while I was in the final weeks of like powerlifting prep because I was like, I don't care. I'm focused on like doing this now. I'm meant to be going on a date tomorrow, so we'll see if that actually like happens. I tend to find that I organize a lot of dates and then the guy ends up like bailing or like not replying or it falls through for whatever reason. So yeah, I mean, I'm meant to be going on a date tomorrow, but we'll see. I'm pretty sure over the last like couple of months, I've organized like 4 dates and then like only one of them has happened. So yeah, guys suck. Did you feel scared of gaining weight after stopping dieting? So I've done a couple of dieting phases now while I've been recovered from bulimia, and scared of gaining weight? No, I knew that it would happen, and I accepted that it would happen because my body is happy to maintain at a slightly higher weight than what I dieted down to. I guess something that I didn't feel as comfortable about would be gaining it back too quickly, but I knew that I would gain the weight back. Do you still worry about disordered eating habits coming back? So this is an interesting one. Yes and no. So I had a couple of like relapses last year and I went back and saw my psychologist again. So I know that if I was struggling again, I would seek help pretty immediately, and I'm pretty proactive in that regard now. I think sometimes I struggle to know now, like, is this disordered or is this normal? I guess because I have that history, now when I like overeat, I'm like, oh, is this me disordered overeating, or is this just like normal overeating and it's fine? I think something that I think part of it that makes it disordered is kind of your attitude around it and how you respond to it. So when I overeat now, I feel way less guilt and I brush it off so much better than I used to. So therefore, I don't think it's disordered. Even though in the past, if I had overeaten the same amount, it would have been like massively stressful to me. So in that situation, it was disordered. I'm not sure if that answered the question, but hopefully it sort of makes some sense. What's your biggest fear? So I don't really have like a fear of like spiders or snakes or like heights or anything like that. Nothing that discernible. I'm not really sure. I'm not like scared of like death or anything like that. I don't know. I think I'm semi worried that I might never like meet anyone. Like I might never meet a guy to like spend the rest of my life with. But I'm not that concerned that I'm like that proactively like massively putting myself out there, because I think that's kind of disingenuous. So like kind of worried that maybe I'll never meet anyone, no one will ever love me, but not worried enough to like do anything about it. That probably doesn't count as a fear. How are your moving out plans going? Yeah, so I still live with my parents, lol. But it's been awesome for saving and they haven't kicked me out. So I'm like, well, if I can continue saving, that would be great. I had a plan to move out with 2 friends this year, but it's been pushed back and pushed back and pushed back for various reasons. So I'm hoping to be moved out with them at the start of next year. But we'll just have to see. I'm essentially just waiting for these 2 other friends. Ice cream or weights? You have to give one up forever. What do you choose? Ice cream. I'd give up ice cream. Honestly, that's a really easy question for me to answer because there are so many delicious things in this world. Ice cream is pretty high up there, but because of my chronic knee injury, there's very limited exercise that I can do. So I would rather give up ice cream and stick to being able to exercise because there's lots of delicious things, but not as many forms of exercise that I can do. How old were you when you started your fitness journey? It's not like that, but I'm doing it like that. I've been active my whole life. I've been playing sport my whole life. I first started going into the gym soon after my second knee reconstruction when I was 20 years old. And I first started my like Instagram stuff in like 2014. So I was 21. Okay, and final question, what advice do you have for people struggling to balance love of food with fitness goals? So this is non-specific. You've said fitness goals, which to me, I interpret as like performance goals, getting fitter, stronger, things like that. Though to a lot of people, fitness goals can mean like fat loss goals. If you have a love of food, but you want to lose fat, that's going to be challenging, obviously. I would say make sure you take regular breaks. So diet for a few weeks and then take a few weeks off, and diet for a few weeks and take a few weeks off. This should be really structured, and I would suggest that you find a coach to like help you through this process. However, if you're not wanting necessarily to lose fat and you're just wanting to, if by fitness goals you mean more performance based, then don't diet, and then you can eat more. Eat at maintenance level or eat above maintenance, and then you're able to eat more. And I would just say like, try and eat something delicious that you like every day. Put mechanisms in place for yourself so that you don't like crazily overeat. For example, like don't go out to like dinner with friends while you're like absolutely starving, or don't keep like massive tubs of ice cream in the freezer if you have like no self-control. If you have like an actual food addiction, then I would also suggest going and seeing a psychologist or a therapist or something like that. But yeah, I would really recommend like bringing other people in, friends and family, and then getting a coach, someone to support you, maybe going and seeing a psychologist if it's really getting at this extreme side of things. But yeah, don't diet, don't restrict yourself. That's going to be the easiest thing. Anyway, that was like pretty short and snappy. I feel like I got through quite a few questions there. So if you had any further questions based on that, if I should do another Q&A, or if you've got more questions, or if there's more that kind of came out of that, put them below. If you like this video, if you like this little getting to know me, it's a bit of a lazy video, but hey, I enjoyed it and I like the opportunity to like connect with you guys, I guess, and more of an insight into my life. Yeah, I'd really appreciate if you gave me a thumbs up, and if you want to see more from me, I'd really appreciate if you guys subscribe to my channel. Anyway, thanks so much for tuning in, you guys. Hope you all have a great weekend. See you in the next video.